What up, y'all?
Hello. How's it going, y'all?
Yes.
It is Cory, it's Judith, and
yeah.
special guest. We got Kyra Jones on the house.
Come on.
So it's actually pronounced Kyra.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Kyra.
That you got a 50-50 shot.
Oh my God. See, this is the thing. I'm so super cognizant of pronouncing name right because my full name is Coradata and everybody butchers it. All the time.
I don't take offense to it because there are people who have my name spelling that say it Kyra, so I get it. But no, it's
got
Kyra.
it. Okay. Kyra. All right. So we have Kyra Jones joining us today. She's a Chicago-based Black feminist screenwriter, filmmaker, actor whose work focuses on Black women's experience with intimate relationships, sex, and liberation. So basically, we have an amazing show for y'all today. We're going to be interviewing her in the main segment, so I'm not going to give too much tea.
That's right.
All right, because you got to wait. Okay, you got to wait. You can't have everything off the top. Come on, it don't work like that. Anyways, so Judith's going to start with our Would You Rather, as usual. Take it away. It's a really good one today.
Yes, I'm excited for the Would You Rather. So I heard we have, someone who cares about feminism and Blacktivism and Black womanism. Okay, all of those words don't exist, but she is out here doing the work. Now, this Would You Rather, which Black woman activist would you like to sit down and have lunch with? Okay, so first one I have on the list is Angela Davis. If you don't know who she is, she's an American political activist, philosopher, academic, and author. If you need more information, Google her. She's a bad bitch. We have Harriet Tubman after that. Now, I know the public school education ain't shit in America, but we all know who Harriet Tubman is. If you don't know, Google. She's fucking amazing. And then we have the wonderful Audre Lorde, she's a writer, feminist, womanist, librarian. I didn't know she was a librarian until I looked this up. And civil rights activist. She was the self-described Black, lesbian, mother, warrior, poet. And if you don't know who she is, you're gonna learn today. Go Google her, she's fucking amazing. So, ladies, out of these three activists, would you rather sit down and have lunch with Angela Davis, Harriet Tubman, or Audre Lorde? Who wants to go first?
We can let our guests go first.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Okay, so I have had the privilege of having a meal with Angela Davis.
Come on.
Iconic.
When I was at college, when I was at Northwestern, I was a gender studies double major, and she came and did a wonderful lecture. She was keynote speaker, and they chose some students from certain departments whose work intersected with Angela's work, and I got selected from the gender studies department.
Come on, selected to see the icon.
So she was absolutely lovely, so fun. We actually ended up talking about theater because I was a theater double major, and her niece is a playwright whose work I was actually studying at the time. Because I didn't even put it together, but I was like, I have a theater major. She's like, oh yeah, my niece writes some plays, and I was like, wait, your niece is Issa Davis? And she was like, yes. So Pulitzer Prize, I think. I might be getting the prize wrong, but award.
Excellent.
So that was lovely. I will let y'all know before you make your decisions that Angela Davis is a vegan.
Okay.
So,
lunch might be different.
Yeah. Lunch might be a little different.
Thank you.
But it was a great, she's so fun. I think since I've already had a meal with Dr. Davis, I think I'll go with Harriet Tubman, mostly because I'm really into the idea of being able to hear from someone who has had their story told by so many other people. The Harriet Tubman that really existed was not the Harriet Tubman we learned about in our super whitewashed anti-Black elementary school history book. So I want to hear from her about. So Harriet Tubman.
Facts. Yeah. I would have to agree. Definitely Harriet Tubman. I feel like it's just what a story. And it's like you said, we don't actually know exactly who she was and what really happened. So I definitely need to hear what was going on. I mean, I know what was going on. I got an idea, but I need to really hear. Okay. That would be, I would literally, that would make my entire life if I had that chance. Yeah.
Oh God. Miss Harriet Tubman. God, both great answers. Yeah, I think, I mean, I would love to get the opportunity, both, all three of them, honestly, but Angela Davis probably, just because, like, you know, you had the opportunity to sit down with her and, you know, gonna manifest, we all gonna sit down and talk to the Dr. Angela Davis, just because, like, she has become, like, iconic in a way that I think is so recent to us, but also still so far away, right? And, like, she's still with us, right? And so I would love to sit down and talk to her about particularly the evolution of, like, not only the civil rights movement, but she was a part of the Black Panthers. She was targeted. Like, she knows what it feels like to go through that sort of, like, systematic oppression where the hourglass is honed and focused on you, and she still is, like, steadfast, and she still is here, like, still teaching and, like, thriving, even as we kind of see, like, the continued, like, destruction of white supremacy, like, in our face, blown in our face. So I would love to sit down with her. I might just shoot my shot, just, like, send an email, like, please talk to me.
She might respond.
Oh
wow.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Put me on there too then when you do it, girl.
You might get on the program. Get her on the program.
On the program.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. But yeah, thank you for that. That was super fun.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Judith, for your creative would you rathers. I mean, this girl comes up with the most amazing would you rathers while I'm just Googling would you rather questions, copying it and pasting. And while she's coming up with all these iconic ass, creative ass, I'm just like, girl, I can't. And I also stand. So yeah, moving into our Know Better, Do Better segment, where we give a tip or trick, lesson learned about either writing, the industry, whatsoever. We're going to lobby that over to our guest, Kyra. What do you have for the peeps?
Ooh, okay. All right. So I guess I will say that I know I put a lot of pressure on myself before I got represented and staffed to, like, write a ton of samples. We're always told, like, if somebody likes your work, they're going to ask you, what else do you have? And if you don't have an answer to that, then they're not going to be interested in working with you. That's a lie. Like, you don't have, it's quality over quantity, like, just 100 times, because I only had one television pilot sample and one feature, and I got staffed. I got 19 offers from agents and managers, and that was off the one television sample. Like, they would come to me being like, I'm trying to sign you, I read your television sample, like, let's go. And I'd be like, I also have this feature. They'd be like, that's cool too. Like,
okay, sure.
No. They were like, we were gonna sign you with just the one script. Like, we didn't even, so, like, and then I see all these writers who have, like, dozens and dozens and dozens of scripts and, like, are not getting any traction and have gotten meetings with folks. And it's kind of, I've noticed that the what else do you have is sometimes code for, yeah, I didn't really like the first thing you sent me, but, like, I'm rooting for you. Like, I want to see if you have something else that's maybe in my bag. And but, like, sometimes I'm excited, I want to see more, but it's never going to be a deal breaker if your first thing that you sent them was solid.
Got it. Yeah, that is super great advice. Because you hear that all the time. You need to have 5-6 scripts, and you need to write 10 scripts a year, and all this stuff. And that is very true. I mean, if your shit is popping, your shit is popping, and it don't got to be 1,500 popping scripts if you got that one. So. And great advice.
Least, if you have some ideas, even if you haven't gotten to write them yet, like, have at least one or two scripts that you've written. But, like, when they ask what else do you have, it can also be like, well, I have this idea that I was about to start writing. And, like, sometimes, depending on the situation, they might be like, you know what, you don't even need to write that. You can pitch that and somebody can pay you to write it. So have something, at least a soft pitch in your back pocket if they do have that question for you, but, like, you do not have to have a stack of 5 million scripts in 100 different genres.
Amen.
Yeah.
I like that.
Amen.
Also, a little focus on quality as well as opposed to quantity. So don't have one bad one and thinking you gonna be out here like I'm in the room. Like no.
Good distinction.
Yeah. So yes, we just wanted, clarification. Because I would have if I were listening to this, I would have just took that and ran. I'd have been like, what's the one didn't proofread? Sending that one off. Like, nope, that's not what was said at all.
I worked very hard on both the scripts that I have. Had lots of people read it for me before I took it out anywhere. That's another thing. Like you gotta let other people read your scripts and not just anyone, not like your mama or like people who have some kind of writing experience, somebody that you trust, somebody who gets your voice. Like you might send your script, like if you're a comedy writer and you send your script to someone who writes horror, which doesn't mean they might still like it, but like it might not be their thing and they might not be able to give you the type of notes you need. So like don't be precious with your script, because I know a lot of writers are real scared that you got to sign an NDA before I even let you see the title. And I'm like, well, then how am I supposed to like refer you to anyone and get you jobs if I can't speak to anyone about your script? But and it's also when anyone who sends an NDA before the script is always garbage. Like not one time hasn't been good. But like you do need to send your script out, but also like you don't have to take everyone's notes and like be mindful of who you're sending it to and like what perspective they're coming from when they're reading it and giving you feedback.
That's awesome.
Yes, another word.
Come on,
quality. You got two, but I'm be quiet now.
Okay. And discernment. Okay, never say we never gave y'all anything. Okay. Amen. All right. Well, with that, we're going to go straight into the news segment. Just a refresher for you guys, if you are new to the show or if you are joining us like you do regularly, we always get our sources from Shadow and Act. Again, Shadow and Act is a publication that focuses on Black and Brown creatives in the industry. Like we always say, make sure you read your Hollywood Reporters, the Deadline, the Variety, all of the trades so that you stay on top of things. But we like to keep it Black. Okay, so that's why we use Shadow and Act. So shout out to them for the resources, and we make sure that we we give credit to the writer as well, because no duh. All right, so in our first news article, Storm Reed says season 2 of Euphoria is high stakes and very emotional. This was written by Jordan Simon, but we were talking about this the other day. The first season was high stakes and very emotional as well. So like, my God.
I don't think I can take no more.
I can.
Real talk. I just only saw a couple of the first episode. I was like, this is fantastic. I cannot finish this. My heart will be stomped on. I cannot emotionally make it through this. The kids are not okay.
The heart palpitations is not like I can't.
It's just high stakes the whole time. There's like moments of levity, but like they are very brief. But it's beautifully shot. Like the cinematography is like unmatched. But oh my God, is there more trauma? What other type of trauma? I can't think of a single other flavor of trauma, like a shooting maybe.
I mean,
they haven't done yet.
I don't know, but in a recent interview with Variety, Storm Reed basically got candid with her role as Tyla, the daughter of Idris Elba's character in Bloodsport Dubois in the Suicide Squad. She was in that too. And so she talked about that a little bit. And then later on, she got into her character in Euphoria. And this is the quote that she said: "All of my characters have had their moments of breaking free and expressing themselves unabashedly," Reed says. I did get to experience a lot of that in Euphoria, where everything is basically high stakes and very emotional, especially in season 2. I mean, it wasn't unfamiliar. So she's familiar with that stuff. She goes, amen. Her character Gia in Euphoria, she goes on to say, "I think when we were filming the first season, Gia was 15? Even though I'm 18 now, I don't think Gia is quite there," she continued, "but I think she will be evolving as a character and as a human and hopefully get her own episode. And we start to see a little bit more of her storyline." Okay, so we get a little bit of a snippet of that. This article did not give us all the tea on how much more it's going to get crazy. But child, if I know anything, Storm Reed has already showed us she has the range to go to those places and give us what needs to be given. And she's only 18, like what I've read in that article, which I was like, oh my God, little baby. Apparently you're an adult now. That's what the law says. But
literally not what your brain says. Your brain is still not fully.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
My brain has not caught up.
Truly. Mid-30s, still in my 20s, like, what am I doing here? So yeah, insane. So shout out to Storm Reed. I'm sure all of the girls, if y'all are Euphoria heads, I don't know what the fan club is called, the Euphorias, I don't know, the Fourias, I don't know. But listen, it's coming back. They didn't give a date yet, but it's going to be high stakes and very emotional. So strap into your seatbelt,
preparing your chakras now, talking
truly,
to your therapist.
Cleanse, get the sage, do whatever you got to do, honey. Ancestry. Okay, so next we have headline. This is written from Nico Rose, and Tia Mowry says she won't return to the game revival and confirms that Sister Sister reboot will not be happening. Yes, again, we were talking about this the other day, and we were not, no shade.
Yeah, no shade.
But I just wonder who was asking for that reboot. I did not, but maybe there is, a sister gang out there who are like, hey, give it to me or forever. But I feel like a lot of the reboots is really just Hollywood trying to capitalize on nostalgia. But
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't need anything to be rebooted. Like, unless it was done badly the first time and you're like, I think I can do it better. But
a redemption reboot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if it was good when it was first on, like, I don't need you to fuck it up. Like, I wasn't a gossip. I never watched Gossip Girl, but apparently this new reboot is like caca. According to people I've heard, I haven't seen it. I have not seen it, but people are like, girl, it's real bad. And it does not do the original justice. So like, I would be so upset if I was the original creator of a show and somebody rebooted it. And made it
not on the HBO Max.
Yeah. No. They tried to make it more diverse, and that's good, because the first one, I watched a little bit of it, and it's all rich white folks with a sliver of, a sliver of us, as usual. They tried to make it so much more diverse, but I guess they hit the mark, child. That sucks.
I don't know. That's what other people have said. I cannot.
I heard that too. So I'm like, I'm hearing it too.
I cannot confirm and deny, but oh my gosh. Okay, well, so Tia Mowry, Tia Mowry Hendrick, let me get her full name, got to represent for the lineage. She was asked a ton of questions by her fans. She was doing a TikTok questionnaire. So she was interacting with folks and hopping on a viral trend, Mowry fans in short, no. So basically she was letting them know, no, there's not going to be a reboot, or she will not be, there won't be a reboot of Sister Sister. So she said she will also not participate in the revival of the game, which is coming to Paramount Plus, and a reprisal of her role as Melanie Med School Davis. So I know there's a lot of fans out there for the game. In fact, I think the first time it was around, when it first got canceled, fans were the ones that brought it, I think, back. I think it was
back on BET, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So shout out to the fan base. This is a change of track and prior sentiment that both sisters had been trying to get the reboot of the show off the ground for some time. This is a quote. So many people were asking the question about the Sister Sister revival before the game reboot was officially even set. So we tried to do it, but some rights and stuff kind of got in the way. It makes me sad. And also we even tried to reboot the game, and now that's not happening. Reboots are just not in my DNA, I guess. So to my understanding, the reboot of the game is happening. She's just not gonna be in that for that role.
It is happening. I know somebody who's staffed on it.
Okay. Cool. But I mean, she is still working. I mean, actress, she's currently stars in the Netflix Family Reunion, where she connects with the Seattle family with her Georgia roots. And she has a lifestyle series, Tia Mowry's Quick Fix, that just received a licensing deal through Clio TV. So she's out here.
I watched her little web show. It's so cute.
Yeah, I'm like, the recipes actually look kind of good. I'm like, I need to go ahead. I need to go ahead. Okay, love it in the kitchen. But yeah, just so I think what this is a cry for y'all to stop asking her about the sister reboot is what I'm hearing. She's like, it's not gonna happen, stop this. So it's okay. And for Paramount Plus, for y'all who love the game, watch is coming, and we'll see what they do with that. I wasn't a big game fan. I know you were, Cory. That was like,
oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I don't know if I'll watch. Wasn't the revival based more on Tasha Mack and
I'm not sure.
Story? I think that's what I heard, but I mean, I'll give it a whirl.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I can do.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, Paramount Plus, all the streaming services are getting my money. Don't be like me. Share with your friends. Save your money. So now, next, I'm actually looking forward to this, even though I'm like a little skeptical, but I'm still going to watch because I love Justin Simien. So Dear White People season 4 trailer, Netflix series, Last Hurrah, is infused with 90s music. This article was written by Trey Mangum. So if you guys haven't seen it already, when it first came out, because, you know, I follow Justin Simien and the actual Dear White People page on Instagram, but they have the new trailer coming out. And the official description reads, set against the backdrop of senior year at Winchester, let me make this bigger, sorry. Set against the backdrop of a senior year at Winchester, as well as the not so distant post-pandemic future, my God, Dear White People, Volume 4 finds the characters looking back at the most formative and theatrical year of their lives. So both an Afro-futuristic and 90s-inspired musical event, Dear White People Volume 4 is a can't-miss farewell experience with one pitch-perfect promise. Sometimes the only way to move forward is to throw it back. Hey, throw it back. Okay. So I love that song. So with this description, and the trailer seems a little bit more fun because the description kind of feels like, whoa, what is this going to be about? Yeah. But I do like it. Dear White People stars Logan Browning, Brandon P. Bell, Antoinette Robertson. I mean, she's fantastic. I love her. Deron Horton, John Patrick Armandori, and Ashley Blaine Featherson. Love her. Oh yeah, and Mark Richardson. So as stated before, it's created by Justin Simien and executive produced by Jacqueline Moore, and serves as the co-showrunner of the season. So yeah, how y'all feel about this? Or y'all gonna be into it? I know a lot of people, when I saw comments, they were like, musicals, no, why? Take it away from me. Like
that is me. Oh God.
Me too. I'm not musicals.
No musical gal.
Give it a chance. Like when I first saw that it was gonna be a musical season without the trailer, I was like, hell no. But then I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks like it could be fun, but trailers are deceiving. So I don't know. I'm going to give it a try. I'm not going to judge it too harshly. And I think I'm into it because it's not original cheesy music. It's like 90s music, which make it more tolerable for me.
Right. Fair enough.
Totes agree. I'm not a musical gal. As soon as I heard music, I said, oh no, you ain't got to finish the word. No ma'am, and no sir. But it's the 90s that may make it better. It just came out of nowhere because Dear White People did not seem like a show that would go that way, but sometimes shows do that. So I'll give it a first episode and see.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
I can give it a whirl. That's all I can do. Just give it a whirl.
No, I feel you. I like musicals. I love them more. I think Disney kind of like warped my brain. I love them more in like cartoons and stuff like that. And I love a musical that makes the song the feature, as opposed to the whole story has to be told in a song. I can't do that. Like, we're brushing our teeth, we're waking up. I'm like, okay, cut all that out. Just do the thing and then get to the song. My God. So yeah, we'll see. I'm down for it. But I'm very biased. Like Justin Simien could put out anything and I'll be like, well, I'm watching it. I'm here. There it is. So yes, I stand. All right, last news article. 61st Street, an exclusive look at AMC drama with Courtney B. Vance, aka Angela Bassett's husband, and Ingenue Elise and Tosin Cole. And this article is written by Trey Mangum again. Trey Mangum, forgive me, sir. So there's been an update to the article, but basically, this is a new project that AMC is putting out. It's a drama series called 61st Street. The series executive produced by Michael B. Jordan through his Outlier Society banner. And it was ordered as a 2-season television event, honey. So each episode, so it's going to be 8 episodes per season. Peter Moffat is the showrunner and also executive produces it. So it is described as a propulsive courtroom drama following Moses Johnson, a promising Black high school athlete who was swept up into the infamous corrupt Chicago criminal justice system. Come on. Taken by the police as a supposed gang member, he finds himself in the eye of the storm as police and prosecutors seek revenge for the death of an officer during a drug bust gone wrong. Woo! Well, this is definitely going to be a drama. I will have a link to this for sure. I believe the trailer, they released the trailer. So the trailer is up. Of course, Courtney B. Vance and Angelou Ellis look like money and royalty in everything that I see here. And if they, I mean, their talents touched my soul in everything that they do, but particularly in Lovecraft Country. I mean, my soul left my body and came back many a time during that whole thing. They were fucking amazing. Now, this thing gonna hit me hard. So I might just have to be in one episode and then duck out because I be so emotional with these. That's why I don't watch horror too much, because it's just be getting in my soul and my dreams be looking crazy and everything. But what do y'all think of this? I mean, you're in Chicago, so how do you like?
They shot it in Chicago too, so there's a lot of my friends are in it, a lot of great Chicago talent, so I'm excited to support. Actually, right now, Chicago has more television shows filming here than they ever have before, which is very, very exciting.
Wow.
Lots of really cool stuff. Paper Girls is filming here.
Nice.
Obviously, The Chi has been here since the beginning. Southside came back. I think there's 16 or 17 shows. So I don't know too much about it. Even though I've auditioned for it before, and I still they kind of keep the very they keep the premise very vague. So I don't really even know what it's about. So I'm excited.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm excited. All you guys say is Courtney Vance, and I'm like, oh,
Facts.
I'm hooked. I'm listening. I'm watching. So yeah, and also Miss Anjanus. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's gonna be heavy. I don't know how much more heavy things I can take, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. Gosh, that's all I can do. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
I love it. I love how you said when Courtney B. Vance's they just pop up I could just see a gaggle of black just come out what's up? We gonna watch it. I love that.
Yo, I love him. He's so dope.
So good.
Amazing.
He's so good. And he chose Angela Bassett for a wife so I know his discernment is quite on. He's spot on.
Yeah, she chose him. Okay.
Facts. Let me get it right. Let me get it right.
Lucky man.
Let me get it right. And that's big facts.
Yeah, he is the lucky one here. Okay.
Facts.
I love him though. Okay. So thank you for the news this week. Such great things coming down the pipeline. Y'all make sure y'all check all of that out if it interests you, but also just check it out because it's Black folks behind it. We got to support anyways. All right. So to our main segment, we have our interview with Miss Kyra Jones.
Let's go.
I already told you a little bit about her, but she finna get into it, and we finna get into it, and we're gonna get some gems dropped on us today. All right, so I could read your bio, but we want to give a recap of your career in your own words, whatever you want to say about your journey, and how you got to this moment right here and now.
Wow. Okay. So, hi, I'm Kyra. I write stuff. I be acting sometimes. I also have a background in sexual health and sexual violence prevention, education, and advocacy. So I was doing that literally a couple months ago. Then my life kind of did a fresh clearance and turned upside down, and I got staffed on a TV show and had to leave my job with very little notice. But yeah, so I am currently staffed on the upcoming ABC series Queens, which is starring Miss Eve and Brandy and Tori Naughton and Nikki Velasquez. And it's super fun 90s nostalgia, like about a hip hop girl group that breaks up and gets reunited when they're in their 40s and their moms and wives and stuff. And I also was staff, I guess AM staff, but we wrapped this last season on the Hulu series Woke. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, that is about a Black cartoonist who is assaulted by a police officer, and then that kind of the trauma manifests in like everyday objects kind of coming to life and speaking to him. And him previously he was pretty apolitical, and now he becomes woke. So so mostly comedy, dramedy, television writer. I also have a feature that I wrote and am set to direct that will be shooting next year. And I'm also known for a web series that I co-created and started called The Right Swipe, which is a fun rom-com type web series that we described as a mix between Hitch and Insecure. It's about two friends who start a business where they fix men's dating profiles, but then end up screwing up their own love lives in the process. So that's a little bit about me.
All right. Okay. So kind of give us like a little blurb about kind of what made you want to go into like storytelling.
That's a great question. So I started as an actor, but even before that, I honestly started acting because my mom made me. She was like, you can't just sit in the house after school and not do nothing. So you have to do an extracurricular activity, and a friend dragged me to the school play auditions, and I ended up getting the lead. And so I was like, I guess I'm good at this or something. I don't know. So amazing. I just like kept doing it because it was fun. But then I eventually had like teachers and mentors be like, you should like really seriously consider doing this as a career. You should consider studying this in college. So I ended up doing that because I couldn't think of anything else I wanted to do. Yeah. So I went to Northwestern University, studied theater, and double majored in gender studies as well. And I really, so Northwestern, if you don't know, is very, very white. It is just so my graduating class of 100 people had 4 Black people in it.
Okay.
So literally more Black people in my house.
Oh, than there were sorry. Good job. Not in the house.
So that was really shocking for me, coming from a high school that was 50% Black. And I felt it the whole time I was in the theater department. The roles that were open to me were very limited. If they did exist, they were usually very stereotypical. And I just was like, I do not like the way that stories are being told for and about Black women. And I feel like as an actor, I don't have that much agency in the storytelling. You kind of get plopped in at the tail end of when the story is being created, and there's only so much you can do. Like you really have to go with what the creator and the director want you to do at the end of the day, even if you can try to like make character choices that make it seem more authentic. And so I was like, I want to get on the ground floor of these stories, so let me write. And I started doing that, and then realized my senior year that I probably should have majored in film, but it was too late. So I took as many film classes as I could before I graduated. It was only a handful, like maybe like 3 or 4, and then graduated and kind of felt like I was behind my peers. Like Northwestern is a pretty strong like film program, and I saw like everybody that was able to figure out what they wanted to do at a appropriate time, like they all got like internships and stuff, and they were ahead of the game. And I was like, I don't know how to catch up, so I'll just keep acting. And it wasn't until I started to audition for more like independent web series and films and stuff that I got the inspiration to start writing again, because I got to see people who were my peers making stuff happen on their own without the help of a big studio or a big network. And there's a big Chicago indie web series scene, particularly among like people of color, queer folks. It's really like the underdog, underrepresented minorities that are like making the coolest content here. So I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. So that's part of what pushed me to do The Right Swipe. And then when I walked on set for like a production, like I was like, for my production, I saw everybody like there, like all the cast and crew there to like make something that I made come to life. I was like, all right, this is a wrap. This is what I'm gonna be doing. So it really just was like, I want to tell stories that like represent me and the people in my community, in my friend group, and my family that I don't get to see. So yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, and
yes,
the very fact that, you know, you didn't take a whole bunch of film classes, but like the end result, I mean, get into it. The web series is award winning. Like it's been recognized. I mean, I mean, well done. So the results are clearly showing. And if you guys get the chance, go check it out. It's on OTV, correct?
Yes. OTV.
So check it out. I'll have the link in there.
Let them know.
Yes, we'll have the link in there. How did you get the distribution over to OTV? And tell us a little bit about that. Because I think a lot of people who do their web series, the main distribution is usually YouTube, and you know, everyone's trying to like get the sort of monetization under their belt if they can. So I'm curious, how did you get it onto there? And congrats on all the accolades. It looks really good. Go for it.
Thank you. OTV is amazing. So I guess I'll give you a little bit of background on OTV first, and then I'll talk about how I got connected with them. OTV is a not just a distribution platform, but also like this incredible artist resource and community based in Chicago for artists of intersecting marginalized identities. So it was created by Dr. Amar Jean Christian, who is a Black queer professor at Northwestern University. And OTV started as a research project that he was doing like about representation in media. And so he wanted to create a platform for artists of intersectional identities to place their short form content and distribute it. And it just like took off. Like obviously there was a huge need for it and a big market. People were looking for that kind of thing. And their biggest or most well-known web series that really launched them into the like more like national or even international like spotlight / also like got the attention of Hollywood was Brown Girls, which got nominated for an Emmy and got picked up by HBO. So because it grew, it became a nonprofit, and now I think they do have a for-profit arm, and they do like a fellowship that for Chicago creatives. They have 3 like classes that people can take. They've been doing forget what it is. I keep calling it night school, but that's definitely not what it's called.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up right now because let me not do
evening classes.
Okay. They're doing it right now, and I want to plug it for them and people, because anyone can join. It's the
and it's not just for folks in Chicago.
No, it's called Study Hall. OTV Study Hall.
Hey,
Study Hall. So if you go on their website,
nice.
You sign up for Study Hall. They have like webinars that people can sign up for on different topics. So they just had one on like creating pitch decks and series Bibles, and they have them on getting representation and that kind of thing. So that's OTV for you, and you can subscribe to that. The subscription fee is very affordable. It's like $3 a month, and access to all this incredible content. You'll be supporting creatives of intersectional identities, and I think they also, like, if you genuinely can't afford it, they do gift subscriptions to people who are lower on the socioeconomic status. But so I got connected to OTV because I acted in a web series, and one of their more successful web series called Seeds, which was created by Deja Harrell, who is now a staff writer on Family Reunion, starring Miss Mallory. So I was on that production as an actor, and like got really close with the creators and the director, and was just like, oh, these are like young Black women who are even younger than me. Like, I think the director was still in college and Deja had just graduated, and they're like doing this straight out the gate. Like, I was really inspired, and I was like, I think I want to do this too. And there was another web series that I was in called Kappa Force that was created by Addison Hyman, And like, that was my second dose of getting to see it, indie production. And I was like, you know what, like, let me make this happen. I networked and made friends on both of these sets. Like, these are folks that I can bring into my project. And I did. A lot of people from those two series either connected me with folks who helped me with the right swipe, or were folks who were on the right swipe. And so definitely recommend people, like, even if you're not an actor or whatever, you can PA or do something on a set. It'll be valuable, like so invaluable as experience, but also when you want to produce your own work, like, you have the names of folks who can help you make it happen.
Yes. That is super great advice too. We hear that all the time from people come on the show. They started out as PAs or acting or just doing other things on set, and then it segued into making your own shit. So great advice. And that is super cool. Check out, we'll put the link to OTB in the description as well, so y'all can check that out and check out Right Swipe. All right. So, I mean, you've been staffed on shows that are on huge networks. You've made your own, projects and things like that. What would you say is beneficial from being able to have both of those experiences?
They're both so different in some ways, but in other ways, it's like, this is the same thing. But I think, like, one thing that I am really glad about now that I'm staffed on, big network shows, is having had some on-set experience, because a lot of writers, when they finally get staffed, if they've never produced their own work, like, being on set is like, they're so green. And while I haven't gotten an opportunity to be on set of either Woke or Queens yet, I'll probably get to go for Queens later in the year because of COVID and stuff. But I know that, like, me producing my episode as a writer is going to look a little different than it would be me producing the right swipe. But it's like, I know what a script supervisor is. I know what a producer is. I know the lingo people are saying on set. I don't have to, like, play catch up with that, which is great, and also will help when if you eventually want to become a showrunner, to have that background, especially like when you are independently producing stuff. You got to be scrappy, you got to be aware of the budget, and those skills will come back when you are a showrunner. I have had to adjust to executing someone else's vision, because being staffed on a television show, it's not your show, it is the showrunner's show, and you are there to guide their vision into a direction that they want it to go. They are the final say. And you just kind of figure out where you fit in best into that vision, and help figure out, like, plug holes when you see them, and pitch ideas when you got the opportunity to, but you shouldn't be, like, trying to steer it into the direction that you think is best. It's about what they want. So I like, and the pitching of ideas was something that I had to learn how to do, like, pitching them off the top of my brain. And when I'm writing by myself, if I have an idea, I can just write it and see if it works. And if it doesn't, I can erase it. But it's like, it's way more steps in that process in a writer's room. So a lot of it is, like, honestly, sometimes, like, social skills and thinking on your feet more than it is actual like writing ability. So I think that's where some writers get a little tripped up, because they like wrote really well on their own, but then maybe when they got interviewed and staffed, they couldn't relay the skills that they had that would make them useful in the room. And so that's another tip, is that, like, you're gonna have to be very collaborative. You're gonna have to be like not even manning the ship, but like be like rowing one of the little rows on the ship. And be cool with that. Taking a lot of notes. There's gonna be hella cooks in the kitchen. So like, if you don't think that's for you, then you may want to like stay down the independent route, which is also a great career choice of its own. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't come with all the money. So.
That is
That's perfect. Cause there's a lot of people who I want to be writer's room when they start writing, but they don't even know all the things that come with it, So that's really good to kind of have that distinction and that you have both of those experiences and you can speak to both of them. And, that was really great. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect answer.
Perfect. Yes. I'm wondering, I guess you gave those tips, but I'm wondering if you had any misconceptions going in, like maybe you thought it was going to be a way. And then when you got there, you're like, oh, nope, that's not it. Or maybe you thought it was going to be a way and it was like, oh, it's this way, pleasantly like surprised and grateful, or maybe pleasantly put off. I don't know. Like, has there been any misconceptions when you got in that were like, oh, okay, this experience is like this, maybe I need to adjust?
I think I put a lot of pressure on myself that I didn't need to for my first show, or at least the first few weeks of Woke, because I don't know if I went into all the details of how I got staffed, but it was in a very ridiculous way, and I can go into that in a little bit after I answer that question. But I was not. It wasn't like I had reps who were actively submitting me to be staffed, or I didn't start as a writer's assistant and knew I was eventually going to work my way up to being staffed. I'd never been in a room before. Got staffed with 3 days notice without any type of warning that you'd be considered for a television show. So I very much got thrown into the fire. And I thought, like, I'm going to have to be coming up with ideas and showing them that I'm smart and that I'm valuable and I have to talk. And if I don't say anything, if I don't have a pitch, then I'm failing and they're going to fire me, they're going to hate me. And that's not true. Like, everybody had to be a first-time staff writer at some point. And especially if you didn't get the opportunity to be a writer's assistant or anything, if it's your first time in a room, a lot of your first few weeks are just going to be listening and observing and seeing how to pitch from the more seasoned writers, seeing what type of pitches your showrunner really responds to. And it's really okay if you don't speak. Like, as a first-time staff writer, my advice would be like, not to be quiet, like I'm not saying you shouldn't speak, but I'm saying like don't feel like you are doing a bad job if you don't speak every day. Like, say something if you feel like you have something useful to contribute, but you don't have to just like make yourself known. It's not like in college when you had to talk at least once to get participation points. There's no participation points. Like, you're good. You can just observe and it's really okay.
Okay. All right, so get into the story.
Yes,
how
the
we got
of the Tinsel Town.
We need that. You can't mention. We gotta hear it.
Come on.
So I was submitting for a lot of script competitions and stuff last year because I was like, you know what? I'm working from home right now, and I'm saving all this money because I can't go out, so I got some extra coin because script competitions are not cheap.
Oh no!
Another freaking barrier to people of color, people of other, marginalized identities or underrepresented identities getting into Hollywood. But I was like, I got so much money. Let me start submitting my pilot. And I placed highly in several competitions. I won one. And just like, when another rep's gonna come? Like, they're all just gonna come knocking at my door now that I have this win. They don't do that. That's not what happens. Like, if you do win, like, you have to be the one that's like going to the reps or going to the execs and being like, I have this win now, or I have this high placement, and they might be more likely to pay attention to you because someone else vetted you, so they ain't got to do it. And that sounds like they're being shitty, but it's like they gotta read a lot of scripts and a lot of them are bad. And so like, if somebody else is like, no, this one's not bad, they're gonna be like, okay, but I can take some time out of my very busy day to read it. So I think that competitions are valuable, but didn't make anything change overnight. What did make something change overnight was something I did enter called Cover Fly Pitch Week, which I think is literally happening like right now. I think they do it twice a year. And it's free to enter, which is really great.
Ooh, great.
So,
okay, come on, Cover Fly Pitch.
Yeah, so people who are not familiar with Cover Fly, they are a script hosting service. They also have a lot of like writer development opportunities, whether those are webinar panels or things like Pitch Week, or they have a great blog. And Pitch week, you can enter it. All you have to do is make yourself a Coverfly profile, which is free. It's not like the Blacklist where you have to pay to host your script. So you can just do it for free. And they choose 125 people. And they have a bunch of agents, managers, executives who will look at the list of 125 people and be like, I read the scripts, which is nice because like a lot of similar programs, they just assign you to somebody random, or it's like the Hunger Games to try to choose the exec that you think fits you. And then, you know, you might end up with like somebody's assistant from like My Mom's Backyard Productions. Like,
no, not My Mom's Backyard.
You know,
that actually sounds like a good name though, but go ahead.
That actually does. But like, you know, they have really, really legit people that are participating in Pitch Week, and they choose who they want to meet with. So that's great. And they set you up like meetings that are like 20, 30 minutes. And I had 4 meetings, and one of the meetings was with one of the executive producers of the show Woke, from, you know, the company that one of the companies that does Woke. And we had a really awesome meeting. She was like, I want to talk to you for longer than 20 minutes. Like, let's hop on another Zoom and keep chatting. And she had mentioned, just in passing, not like suggesting anything to me, like, yeah, we're actually having a really hard time finding the last staff writer for Woke. We're looking for a clear Black woman, and it's like we're just like not finding one that's like fitting what our vision for the show is. And I was like, okay, cool. So she emails me like an hour later. She's like, actually, like, would you be interested in being staff? Like, I can kick your pilot up to the showrunner if you're comfortable with that. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. Like, truly did not think anything was going to happen, because why would somebody who's like 0 room experience, no representation, no one to vouch for me other than this person, like, no, why would they staff me?
But you are award winning. I do want to.
That's true, but like a lot of seasoned writers got passed over for this job. So, because they were reading a ton of people, and they were like, no. I found out later from a lot of the reps that I met with that they were like, we sent in a bunch of writers for that position and no one got it. So like,
because it was yours, that's why.
Period. Come on.
You're right. I will receive that. I will. And the checks that came with it. But
Amen.
But
more of those.
So I was like, no, nothing's gonna happen. And the next day she emails me and she says that the crew really, really loved my script and they want to meet with me. She's like, it's going to be quick though, because they're moving really fast. And I was like, she didn't tell me what fast meant. So this was like Wednesday, and I get a call from another one of the producers, and he's like, yeah, so we need to meet with you tomorrow because the room starts on Monday.
Oh,
so
my Lord.
I was like, all right. So I'd already seen the first season of the show, but I re-binged it really quickly so I could prepare for my interview, and for people who like, you know, a little bit of tea about like what a staffing interview is like. I mean, both mine were mostly just kind of like a conversation, like people just kind of want to see what your vibe's gonna be like in the room. But because this was a second season show, they asked like, what did you like about the first season? What what would you change? What do you think could improve? Like, what are some stories that you'd really like to see in season 2? That kind of stuff. So like, just be prepared to answer those kind of like, come in with some pitches, like, oh, it doesn't have to be like fully formed, like beginning, middle, end, but like, I would like to see this character explore this part of their identity a little bit more. Or, you know, I would like to see this person have a love interest, that kind of stuff. So I had my interview, and then about an hour later they call me and they're like, okay, girl, get yourself a lawyer because we want to offer you the job, and you gonna
just go grab a lawyer off the street.
Okay. 1-800 grab a lawyer. Come on.
I called my uncle, who was a retired public defender.
Come on, Unc. Come on.
And I was like, Uncle Tony, like, do you have a friend who could like look over this and for like free or cheap? And he was like, I got you, baby. And like, I did it for me.
That's so great.
I sent him like a bottle of expensive whiskey, and I didn't have to give him commission, so that was great.
That is great. Amazing.
So that's how. So I literally had like 2 days, like 2 days notice. I was working full time at Northwestern. I was the assistant director of our Sexual Health and Violence Resource Center, which is a job I really loved. I had to be actually, I was working there and being staff at the same time. I like dropped down to part time so it could like transition out. So I was working 2 jobs, and then it got more crazy because of course I go back to Coverfly, and I'm like, yo, I got staffed. And that never happened in the history of Pitch Week. Like, you know, some people got reps, or maybe like down the line something got optioned or whatever. But they were like, what? John, what? And they're like, do you have reps? And I was like, no. And they were like, we're gonna get you reps. And there was like another competition that I placed in, and they got wind with roadmap writers. They got wind that I got staffed, and their whole thing is also getting people signed. And so they're like, we're gonna get you reps. And then like other people that like I had interacted with, like the exec that kicked up my script for Woke, and other folks I knew in the industry started sending my materials out. And before that, no, I could not get anyone to sign me. No one was like, I had like one manager like read something, and they were like, maybe down the line. But like I went from 0 interest to 19 offers. And
that's awesome.
That's so dope.
5 gazillion interviews with people, like agents and managers, which was like, it was the most stressful month of my life. The way that my digestive system rebelled.
Oh no, the bubble guts. No.
The way my IBS was set up. But it was worth it.
Amen.
So I was staffed on Woke. I'm now signed with Echo Lake Entertainment, my small army of white people. They're lovely. I have 5 managers. They're all great.
Amazing.
Not just one, child. Come on.
I got a team. And then I finished Woke. Woke was 12 weeks. And then I was like, I'm going to get a little break now. It was a lie. I immediately got staffed on Queens. And so that's where I am right now.
Amazing. Well, thank you for telling that story. That was a great story. And it's such a like everything was meant for you type of story. So yes, that was great. So beautiful. I love hearing stuff like that. Oh, I got chills, girl.
Okay. Make that a short film or a full feature. I'll watch that. I'll be like, rewind. Let's do it again.
Yeah. So piggybacking off of that, you kind of touched on this a little bit. But, you know, we're the script contests and, you know, the festivals and all that stuff. And you talk about how expensive it is. We know it's super expensive, and you can spend all your money trying to get into these things. And people think if they win a contest, that's it. It's just going to be over and done from them. But do you have any other kind of like more realistic expectations for those people who are like spending all their money on these competitions and thinking like that's going to propel them the way that they want it to?
I do have a lot of advice for those people because I know a lot of folks, especially people who haven't placed or haven't won competitions, say that it's a scam or it's a money grab. It's not. It really can be beneficial, but it can't be the only thing that you are doing. Like there's so many different ways to break into the industry. Like you ask 10 different Hollywood writers and they'll tell you 10 different stories about how they got it. So some people got in through producing their own work. Some people got in through being an assistant. Some people got in through competition. Some people got in elsewhere. And so you got to be doing all the things at the same time, like, and seeing, like, hopefully one of them will hit. So I get really sad when I see all these writers, like on Coverfly. If you go on people's profiles, you can see what accolades they have. So like all of the placements that they have in competitions and stuff. And sometimes I see people who have like 30, 40 accolades, and I'm like, and you're still not staff. You haven't been optioned, you haven't told anything. Like it has to be that they're just submitting to competitions and expecting Hollywood to come knocking, and not really, you still got to really do the legwork. As I mentioned, it's just one more tool for networking, and like to show that like you have been vetted. I also am like, so it's hard as far as quality over quantity. Like quality, yes, is important. Like do your research on what competitions you're entering, because there are some sketchy ones that like no one cares about. Like you tell someone like that you placed in my mom's backyard.
Come on, my mom's backyard. I know it's coming back.
Like no one cares, but like if you have a placement in like the Nickel Fellowship, like that holds more weight. So prioritize those. Don't just like don't submit to anything and everything. Go on their websites, look at who won or placed highly in the past, and like what their success stories are, what they're doing now. I think also if you are going to be doing the contest route, what is more useful than script competitions are the labs and the fellowships, and honestly the pitch competitions. I've won 2 pitch competitions, and from both of those competitions, I got way more connections than I did from any of the actual like script competitions that I placed in, because they actually get to interact with you and see like that's equally, and it's not more important than your writing skills, is like, do they want to work with you as a human being? So like labs, fellowships, and pitch competitions give them the opportunity to be face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom or whatever with you in person, and they're like, oh, I really like them, they have a really cool personality behind this dope writing skills, like I'm rooting for them. So that's some of my advice, is like just don't apply all willy-nilly. Be strategic about what you're applying for, and don't expect it just to change your life overnight. It could, but don't expect it.
Well, no, I think that's
very realistic.
Yep. Sound and great advice. And, we have to be like, we are working artists. Some of us are, in different areas. Not everybody's budget is big. You have to consider your own budget. And I think it's wise to be discerning about what you invest in your career for writing, because it's real out here. Like it is very real out here. Not to say that you don't do that, but like having that discernment and a strategy like you laid out is like really helpful, because a lot of people feel like I just have to apply everywhere, got to do it for the dream. And it's like, no, you can be strategic and plan, and don't feel like you just got to throw all your money away just for the dream. Like, we got to make sure we are good also.
It's also like a little bit of a luck aspect to these competitions, because it really depends on the reader that your script lands in the hands of. Like there are some bad readers out there. They're stupid. A lot of them are salty because like their own dreams of being a screenwriter are not being realized. So sometimes they get a good script and they're like, you know what, this is good, and I'm pissed. So I'm gonna give it a low score. Sometimes they are racist. Frequently they are racist or sexist or transphobic or homophobic or whatever. I've gotten some really crazy notes from people, which is another tip I have. Like if you get notes back and you're like, "Them's is racist," like email the competition support, because part of the reason is like people just think, they're just like, well, that sucks, it's a sunken cost, or they may take it to heart, like take those notes at face value and be like, well, this means I'm not a good writer. One, it never means you're not a good writer. Like, don't take it as a value judgment, regardless of whether the notes are discriminatory or not. But also, like, if we all emailed them every time that happened, like, they wouldn't be able to ignore it anymore, and they would have to do something about it. But sometimes they will give you a new reader. You might as well take your chance and let them know what happened, and they might correct the situation.
Right. No, that's a great point. That's a fucking great point. I want to talk about your upcoming feature, which congratulations, you're about to film soon.
Yes.
Go to the Body. And, you won the pitch with that story. Now that you're making it, the one thing that stood out to me is the very fact that you, in your profession before you got into full screenwriting, you were a sex educator and, a survivor advocate. So I'm wondering, how that sort of influenced the feature film. And also you did a lot of comedy. What's your process like getting into the space of what this feels like from the trailer? We'll have that link in there for y'all, a drama. It feels really heavy, but all of that.
The work that I did in sexual violence advocacy and prevention is completely the inspiration for the story behind Go to the Body, particularly the work that I had the privilege of doing with Black survivors. Even though I was working at Northwestern, sexual violence in the Black community, even when it's a small community, is still really prevalent and just like very specific. And seeing even just the impact, the positive impact that like the Black survivors that would come in to see me had in like being able to speak to someone of their identity who looked like them, who understood their experience, was like I can't even imagine, because I mean I didn't get that opportunity. Like I also am a survivor, and when I was at Northwestern, I had to work with white people, and they were lovely white people who like changed my life and are the reason I took the job like after I graduated. But it's still different, you know, it hits different. And so I thought about the fact that like most of the representations of survivorship that we see on television and in film are of white survivors and of the experience of that type of violence through the lens of whiteness and through the criminal quote unquote justice system, which is not what most survivors, especially not most Black survivors, to try to restore the harm or heal. So I was like, I wanted to write a story that felt more, at least representative of one type of experience of Black survivorhood, and focused on healing and also what we call secondary trauma. So the way that we describe it is that sexual violence doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's a ripple effect. So it's not just the person who experienced the direct act of violence who's impacted, it's the entire community, it's their friends, their partners, their families. And so a lot of the folks that I worked with were actually like loved ones of survivors who would come in and be like, I want to be a better support system to the person who was harmed. How can I do that? But also they are navigating their own trauma, because witnessing a loved one go through that is traumatic itself. So the story is told through the lens of a Black couple, the survivor, Sanaa, and her partner, Kendrick, who is a boxer. And I also was really interested in that, in her partner being a boxer, because it's such a masculine profession. And you know, they're usually very, like, I got a lot of friends who are boxers, and they're very protective, especially of their romantic partners, and they're like, to feel like, what is it like to feel like you should have or could have been able to physically protect your partner, but you weren't able to? Like, what does that do for your masculinity, for your Blackness? And so just a lot of, like I said, a lot of the inspiration came from the work I did as an advocate, but also, you know, from my personal experience as a survivor, and then kind of wrapped it all up in my like prison abolitionist politics and my experience going through a restorative justice process for one of the acts of sexual violence that I went through, and also going through the police and court process for a different one, and what were those two things like, and how can I bring kind of how I felt to this character, Sanaa.
Amazing. And that's why you sat down with Dr. Davis. That's
exactly. Thank you. But as far as your question about the process for drama goes, well, there is actually a lot of levity in the script, which does not come through as much in the trailer. So the trailer is a proof of concept that we shot, and we only shot like 4 scenes from the feature. And there is, like, if you watch all 4 scenes of the proof of concept, you see more of the sense of humor that it has. And that's actually a note that I get a lot, not a note, but feedback that I get when they read the script. They're like, this is a lot funnier than I expected it to be. Because I just don't know how to write straight drama. And I also don't think that that's how people live. Like, they're not, especially Black people, like, we find joy
we always laughing
in the hardest, darkest moments. And I think, I know I'm someone who actually makes people feel awkward because I joke about the trauma that I've experienced, and that's how some people cope. And that I brought that to Sanaa's character as well, because people have an idea like, well, if you really were sexually assaulted, like, this is how you're going to act. You're going to be like crying on the floor of your shower. You're not going to be able to move or operate in everyday life. Whereas, like, everyone's reactions are different. And I think when I've seen survivors like be really jovial in like a way that's like, I know this is like coming from a place of trauma, even though you don't realize it. And it's like kind of, it's as somebody on the outside is like, can be really disturbing and confusing to witness, especially if like you were the partner of that person.
Yes.
1000%.
1000%. Thank you so much for kind of talking to us about that. It's super important, this story, and I'm glad that you're the one to tackle it. So thank you. Thank you. We are so excited to see that come to fruition. Okay. So what has been so far in your career, I'm sure, I know you're going to have a lengthy career ahead of you, but so far, what has been the favorite project for you to work on? Yours or with the studio being staffed?
Ooh, that's a great question. I do think it's been Go to the Body, even though we haven't gotten to the like feature production part of it, but it was the first thing that I have produced that I wrote on my own. Like I wrote it by myself, like the right swipe, I co-created and co-wrote with somebody else. Obviously in my writer's rooms, there's like many people involved with that. But this was something that really came from my heart and was super personal, and I'm directing it. And I like the way that I've seen people react to the story, to the script, the way that the actors really embody the characters and related to them. There hasn't been anything I've seen on any of the other things that I've written. So I'm really excited to see like what the audience response is. Because I just like, I'm not somebody who is like, you know what, my work is going to change the world. It's going to end racism. You know, as soon as it drops, sexual violence is going to be abolished. But
abolished, yes.
But it is like even the type of feedback I've gotten that's like, I've never seen a Black man that's been written this way before. I've never seen someone reflect like the anxiety I had around reporting to police and that kind of thing. Is like those small like pushes forward in representation are really exciting to me, and to be able to do that, I think is what makes me say that that's my favorite project.
Yes. And I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing.
For sure. The trailer is really, so if you're directing it, I think you did a great job just from the trailer. Like it looks really like the shots look really, really good. It's giving like I May Destroy You meets Creed, or like, I was just like, that's exactly what we describe it as. Yeah, because of the like, and I think from what I hear, it feels like a parallel of like her fight with, you know, trying to get justice with how she was wronged, and then the fight in the ring, that her boyfriend, like that sort of overlap comes through really well in the trailer.
Thank you. Thank you. That makes me so happy.
Yeah. It's great work. So with that, like, what I get, like, gosh, there's two questions I want to ask. That's why I'm like fumbling through.
Sure.
But I know. Well, okay. So what's the best advice you've received so far in meeting people, working with people, and how you've kind of maneuvered in making your projects, whatever it is in writing? What's the best advice that you've received?
I've received so much. I've been very lucky that I have such a large and supportive community. And so that's a hard question to answer, but I think the best advice that I have received is to network across, as Issa Rae said. There are a lot of people who think networking means finding the most powerful, successful person in the room or on Twitter or wherever the hell, and putting yourself in front of them and making a relationship with them and asking them for a job, which no, that's not really it. I mean, you can shoot your shot if you want to, but chances are that's not going to be what gets you to the next level of your career. It's going to be finding folks who are kind of at the same level as you, maybe like one step ahead, who remember exactly what it feels like to be where you are, and can give you you should make a genuine relationship with them. You shouldn't just be like, they can get me something one day, so I'm going to stay in proximity to them. It's going to like find people that you actually fuck with and want to work with and want to talk to. And then, you know, when you start moving ahead and there's opportunities that you can refer people for and vice versa, like that's when that kind of, when you can take your career to the next level, because it's like you want to bring your homies with you, like and so my homies have brought me with them. I bring my home, like I've gotten my homies representation, I've gotten my homies jobs and stuff. So you never know who is going to be the one to kind of break in. So always keep the good people in your life who are in this industry close.
Come on, rolling with the homies. That's what you gotta do. Gotta do it. Yes, that's amazing.
And you said you had a 2-part question, Judith?
Oh, that was the main one, but also what, like, in the future, what are your goals for, you know, your career? It seems like there's a clear trajectory, but I mean, life, like you just gave us, like anything can happen. So yeah,
literally anything can happen. So I said I wanted to be a showrunner before, and I think I still do. But after watching both my showrunners be very, very stressed and not sleep,
that's the thing.
I'm kind of like, do I want to be a showrunner? I don't know. I
like sleep.
I do like sleep. Oh my God. Sometimes, you know, my one showrunner, he'd be texting me like 3 a.m. I'm like, sir,
no,
like, go to
violation.
Like, like you don't expect a response.
Right.
He does not expect a response, but like he's awake.
Yeah. He's woke.
So that I don't know. I don't know. But so I at least want to be the creator of a television show, if not also the showrunner. You know, I might like gird my loins a little bit by the time I get to the point. But yeah, I like want to have like my Issa Rae, Shonda Rhimes type of TV empire where I'm just making dope Black content, like hit after hit after hit.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, it's gonna happen, girl. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, it's yours. Manifest it.
Period.
Receive it. Do all the things. Okay.
And sleep. You gonna be a showrunner that sleeps, honey. We're not doing it. We're not doing this.
I'm not functional if I don't get at least 5 hours of sleep. So that's like, you are like, I'm running at 2%. If you so like there will be no show if I don't.
Yeah.
That's
right. All this shit. If I did not sleep.
Shut the whole shit down. We're going to sleep. Everybody.
Everyone taking a nap.
That is really serious.
Okay. All right. So any projects, so we've already talked about Go to the Body, but are there any other projects that you want to plug for the people? So we talked about Right Swipe, Go to the Body, but anything else besides that you're just thinking of that you want to plug?
Man, you know, obviously my 2 shows, Hulu has not given Woke an air date yet, but I'm assuming will air sometime later this season. You can watch the first season, which I did not write, but I think will air sometime later this year. Don't know. But the air date for the premiere of Queens is set, and that is October 17th.
Let's go.
19th? It might be the 19th. Whatever that Thursday is, because it airs after The Bachelorette. So let me not get this wrong.
Let me see. After Michelle's season of The Bachelorette?
Yeah.
Come on, not you. First name basis.
Tuesday. That's Thursday. I'm getting it all wrong. It's October 19th. Tuesday, October 19th, after The Bachelorette.
Nice.
Yes. Oh my God. So
I know the music gonna be, I'm ready for the music, because y'all can't.
Swiss Beats is producing the original music.
I can't take this shit. I can't take it. Versus the Now Queens. God damn.
Yep. And I didn't know, because I'm stupid. I didn't know Notori Naughton was one of the original members of 3LW.
So you can't no more. Yes, I cannot.
Yes. The one that Keely allegedly threw chicken at.
Well,
allegedly, and I'm sure she did. I'm sure she
exactly.
did.
I was like, that sounds.
Let me not start no rumors, but I'm sure that girl did. Okay.
Allegedly, it sounds correct.
I'm gonna say allegedly for the legal shit. Allegedly.
Come on. Shout out to your uncle for the lawyer. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys heard it.
Yay!
You heard her October 19th. Don't play no games. Go ahead and watch Queens. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be on Hulu right after, the day after.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you can't catch it, catch it on Hulu and don't play no games.
I'm gonna have to watch it on Hulu after. I do not have regular live TV. So.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Me too.
That's
why I said it. I was like, because I'm speaking for myself.
Okay.
Not pay for cable.
Okay.
Check it out on Hulu. Check out the second season of Woke, which we're also super excited for, coming later this year. Check out for Go to the Body. We're going to have the link to that in the description.
Yes.
Check out Right Swipe. We're going to have the link to that and OTV in the description. We got all the teams, okay, for y'all. So anything y'all want to see from Miss Kyra Jones, you gonna see it. You ain't gonna have no choice, because we're gonna make sure that y'all got all the tea and all the links to see. Okay, so Judith, do you have any closing questions?
No, I mean, I think I'm still on fucking Swiss beats. I can't even get it together over here. But no, I have nothing else to ask. Go ahead, Cory. Just go ahead.
Okay. So I always ask this question as the last question, just because I like to hear everyone's different answers. I think it's so beautiful.
Yes.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave with your work?
Ooh. Man, that's a great question and a very beautiful question. So I am really hoping that I can leave a legacy that allows Black women to feel sexually liberated, whatever that means to them, whether that means like liberated to have a whole face, or liberated to prioritize their pleasure, or liberated to heal from sexual trauma. That is like the focus of my personal work. But as far as like the shows that I've been staffed on, I want Black women to have fun. Like you don't get a lot of Black joy. And I feel like Woke, and even though Woke is centered on social justice, it is still really fun and joyful in a way that we don't get to see often around stories that deal with social justice and police brutality. And like Queens is just, the super like escapist, soapy, fun time. So which is like kind of what we need after this year, is just to watch some fabulous Black women like live their best lives. So
I need that after this week. I'm gonna need Queens to come on, drop out.
I need that after today. Okay. Yes, what a beautiful legacy to leave, and you're already on your way to leaving that legacy. So thank you so much for the work that you're putting in. And just for the passion that you have for creating and who you're creating for. And just thank you. We appreciate it, and it does not go unseen. So thank you, sis. Okay, so that is our interview. So amazing. I feel so inspired. What about you? I know. I'm like, oh gosh, it's inspirational.
Truly, like honestly, so great. I mean, y'all know at the end we do niggas you should know, and the only nigga you need to know is Kyra Jones. Period. Point blank. Like, she's out here. I mean, just all the Hulu shows that you need to watch, quite frankly. I mean,
Disney owns me.
Okay. You know what? Send the Mickey Mouse check. Okay, send it directly.
He do be cutting the checks.
Okay. And we want more of that. And it's amazing that the work you're doing. First of all, the story of how you even got into the room, but the very fact that even if you weren't staff, you were going to be well on your way because you were creating, you were doing the thing that you needed to do to get to the place that you are right now. So whatever direction it was, you were going to get there because you were putting in the work, you were putting in the time, you were doing all the things that you gave advice to do. You were networking across, you were going to your core, what inspires you to write the thing that you write, all of those things. And so it doesn't matter which pathway, child. Like when you get that show, child, I will have my sample ready. You will be my boss. I'm ready. Listen, like, we will be here. Okay. And yeah, your work it speaks for itself. Again, guys, we're going to have all the links to all the things so you can check it out. Thank you for sharing OTV. What a great resource. I never knew about it until I was like, dang, okay. So yes, more resources, particularly for Black and Brown writers, especially to break through. Like you said, it is so hard just to get someone to even notice you and talk to you and get into the thing. But you know what? You kept going. You gave that pitch, honey. And they were like, girl, come on in and just quit your job, whatever you was doing. Come on. Like you wasn't doing nothing important. It's just like she over here helping people get through trauma. They were like, anyway, girl, come on.
They're like, oh my God. They were like, yeah, you're working right now. And I was like, yeah. They're like, so can you not? And I'm like, I guess.
They were like, that's cute. Go ahead and let that go. Come on. Yeah, dang. So yes. And before we leave, this is a silly question, but your earrings, are those microphones or
vibrators? And they work too. They vibrate. Yeah.
That is amazing.
They actually vibrate.
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's lit.
Go.
So I was wearing them because we never got the chance to talk about pilot, but my pilot is called Good Vibes Only, and it's set in a sex shop. So
yes,
my vibrator earrings.
Oh my God, that is amazing. And I'm going to edit this video so that you guys can see these beautiful earrings. Okay. Y'all will see it when I have the clips on Instagram. Cause somebody got to see these earrings besides us.
Cute.
Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Girl, just come through. Okay. Just come through. And with that, we got to go. We got
truly.
to go.
Truly, it will be a 5-hour podcast if we don't go ahead and
I'm happy to come back.
Yes, we would love that. Okay.
Yes.
So you guys know where to find us. Tinsel Town Tea on all the things.
Yes.
Like we said, make sure that you're checking out all the things that we put in the description box, whatever that shit's called. And yeah, please check out all the things that we plugged with Kyra, and also we plugged during the news, and just support. And we know that you guys got some value from this episode, but thank y'all for listening.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kyra, for coming through. We're going to do this again, but it was such a great time.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun. And I can't wait to be invited back.
Awesome.
Yes. All right. Bye, y'all. Till next time.
Bye. Stay Black. Keep writing.
Yes, because